Okay, so this is the third and final section of Super Saturday, and my recap in my notes. And the first section was build your business. The second section was build yourself, and then finally build your team. So that's what we're going to talk about today is building your team. Um, first of all, I want to just point out that if you have even one person signed up under you, then you're a leader. And it's really important that you take that seriously and that you provide training and education and support for them. So if you have one person or 500 people, the responsibility is the same in that you need to train and educate and help them and support them. One of the things that Molly talked about at Super Saturday was getting people to events. This could be convention, it could be Super Saturday, but it also can just be local meetings, opportunity meetings, maybe just team training that you're doing is just really encouraging them to get there. And one of the ways that she said to do that was to actually call them up and say, hey, will you do me a favor? Can you come to this meeting? She said she's had a lot greater success in getting her team members to actually attend by calling them versus just messaging them or posting an event out on her page. So encouraged us to do that. She also suggested doing coffee meetings, maybe something a little bit smaller and more intimate. So that's an idea. And also, if you've got a remote team, you can do Google Hangouts or webinars or something like that, and they can bring potential customers in. They can FaceTime you in or Skype you in and still have some involvement from you at those meetings. So some really great suggestions from her. She also said to get 5 people to convention. So not only do you yourself need to go to convention, everybody needs to go to convention. It's so important. You will walk away energized, excited. You'll have new contacts, tons of new information. Get yourself to convention, but also get 5 people from your team to convention. Just the energy, the camaraderie, you'll love it. So that was something that's important just in leadership. Take notice of small successes. Praise your team. Not everybody's going to get 2,000 in PV. Not everybody's going to go from silver to gold to senior gold quickly. So while they're on the journey, find small accomplishments to praise. Those are still, for some people, reaching 500 in PV is a huge deal, and it is. They've worked really hard for that, and they should get recognition for that. So find small areas and ways to praise people, and then do that for those on your team. And then appreciate the team that you have. Don't be looking at other people's teams. Maybe there's an ambassador that's advancing quickly, and you're just wondering, boy, I wish I had, the people they have on their team. Just don't do that. You have a unique team with unique strengths, with a unique network. They're in a group of states that only your team represents. Just be thankful for the team that you have, and there's so much that you can do as a team, the people that you have. So appreciate the team that you have. And then have a system to share success stories. So this is just even amongst the people on your team and their customers. Just have a way to share those, whether it be on your team page or you set up a team page. I think this is a really great idea, and I believe it's something that Molly does. Also, she talked about when you have someone sign on as a new ambassador, be sure to assign them to one of 3 categories: wellness, weight, or wealth. So you've got to ask good questions and understand, are they just wanting overall wellness by taking the products? Are they trying to lose weight? Or are they in this truly to build a business? Are they wanting to create wealth? That's going to completely change how you approach them with your training and as you're building them as an individual. So if they're wanting to build wealth, then you're really going to be working with them on building a business. But if they're really just looking to lose weight, then that's going to be a completely different conversation that you have with them as their upline. So just understand what it is that they're trying to achieve and put them in that category, and then that'll really help you to be efficient in how you interact with them moving forward. And granted, they could move from just weight loss over to the wealth category at some point, but initially try to determine what that is. Train your new ambassadors the same way from the beginning. And this is something that I've really been trying to focus on over the last month. If you have not listened to my conference call from earlier this month and looked at that presentation, please do that. It'll set at least a foundation for you on how to get your new people up and running. And then you can build from that. You can go from there. You can hear Henry in the background. His snack is over, so I think he wants me in there. Something else she said is follow up with inactives and find out why they're inactive, not with the goal of getting them to become active necessarily, but with the goal of just understanding why they went inactive. And maybe you can get some learnings from that so that for future ambassadors, maybe you can prevent that from happening. You might have a few of your inactives turn back on just because you've had that conversation with them, but really your goal in having those conversations is just to try to learn so that you can take a different approach with other new people signing on. And then also tap into Molly Orr's videos on her blog. She's got excellent videos for getting new people up and running, and she's been posting those over the course of the last month. She also talked about how typically somebody goes inactive because no one talked to them while they were excited. People sign on to be an ambassador, and initially they're super duper excited. I mean, they had to have some excitement in order to take that step. And so she was just stating that a lot of times their sponsor waited too long to start training them, didn't capitalize on that excitement, and then lost them. So jump on them quick, and then make sure you've got a good system in place to get them up and running. At this point, we moved into Victor Antonio's video that was all about generating leads. And I'll dig that video back up and repost it along with the notes that I took from it. But just briefly, really all he was talking about was pre-call planning. Before you go to have an interaction with somebody that's a potential, you need to know what you're going to say. Not only have questions prepared to try to understand which category they fall in, that wealth, wellness, or weight loss. You want to have good questions so that you can categorize them. But also you need to know what types of questions or how you want to close. So after you've visited with them about the products, you need to know, am I going to invite them to an opportunity meeting? Am I going to try to sit down with them over coffee? You always need to have some type of a close planned as well. And then also, in order to have good conversations, you need to know your products. And so he just talked about knowing your products and then having a product grid so that you could know the products and know questions that will help get into the discussion about those products. Blocking objections. This is something that we do with our opportunity meetings that we use Molly's format on. Go ahead and get out some of the objections that you anticipate, things like it's not FDA approved or cost or will it work for me. Get those out there, address them before the potential customer or ambassador even brings them up. And then know what your objective is for the encounter. So going into it, know what you hope to get out of it, and that'll really help you to determine what you're going to close for. And then finally, and this is going to sound crazy, but I would really encourage you to do this. And we used to do this back in our sales training days. Figure out what you're going to say, figure out what your questions are, figure out what your objective is, what you're going to close for, write that down. Again, it's just pre-call planning. And then I'm going to really encourage you to actually verbalize it in the mirror, to your windshield, to your steering wheel, to your children. Whoever will listen, whatever will listen, actually practice saying the words, because it's very different to have it up in your head and think that you're going to be able to articulate it than it is to actually sit down and articulate it. You'll find that you'll have so much more confidence when you've actually verbalized it a few times. You'll also come across to your customers as much more confident. So I'd really encourage you to spend some time jotting down a pre-call plan, but then actually practicing it, articulating it. so that you'll come off smooth. Okay? So that's the third section. So Super Saturday, our 3 sections were build your business, build yourself, and then finally build your team. Remember, if even you have one ambassador under you, then you're a leader. So you have a responsibility to help them, build them up, train them, and support them. Okay? Have a great day.